if we connect this to the bigger picture, it highlights a massive cognitive disconnect between humans and dogs. Humans live on a timeline. We possess episodic memory. We remember the past, we project into the future, and we link them together with complex causality.
Right, cause and effect.
But dogs exist almost entirely in the immediate present. Your dog has no cognitive capacity to understand that the shoe they had a great time chewing on 2 hours ago is the cause of your sudden, terrifying anger right now.
They just know that right now, in this specific second, you are scary.
Exactly.
Which leads to a difficult realization. If the dog has no idea that the chewed shoe from hours ago is causing our current anger, then our natural human reaction, yelling, pointing at the mess, scolding them, is fundamentally mismatched to their reality.
And the consequences of that mismatch are severe. Behaviorists call it a hollow bond.
A hollow bond? What does that look like?
When owners yell or drag a dog over to point at a mess, it quietly, methodically destroys the animal's trust. The dog isn't learning, don't chew shoes. They are only learning, my human is dangerously unpredictable.
Because they don't connect the punishment to the object on the floor, they connect the punishment to you.
Over time, that chronic stress changes their behavior entirely. You might notice your dog stops greeting you at the front door when you come home. Or they start hiding under the bed when they hear your car pull into the driveway.
That is so sad.
It is. They do this because they cannot be sure which version of you is about to walk through that door, the loving, secure base, or the angry, unpredictable threat.
That is genuinely tragic. Our human intentions are to discipline and create a well-behaved companion, but our methods are actually eroding the very foundation of trust.
Exactly.
But wait, let's back up for a second. If they aren't destroying the living room out of spite, why are they shredding the shoe in the first place? Are they just acting out? Is destruction essentially just a cry for a job to do?
It stems from a concept called mental starvation. We have to remember what a dog is biologically designed to do. They are predators and scavengers.
Right.
They are hardwired by thousands of years of evolution to forage, to problem solve, to track scents, to work for their survival. A wolf in the wild might travel miles a day using every one of its senses.
And modern life essentially traps these incredible working animals in a quiet apartment for 10 hours a day with absolutely nothing to do.
A 10-minute walk on a short leash around the block is absolutely not enough to satisfy that biological imperative. Their brain never gets to complete its natural sequence of seeking, finding, and processing.
So they just get bored.
Much worse than bored. Their nervous system becomes highly anxious and deeply understimulated. They become mentally starved.
So how does chewing a leather shoe solve that anxiety for them? Like, why the destruction?
It goes back to their predatory instincts. In the wild, the end stage of a successful hunt involves tearing and chewing meat. Evolutionarily, that intense jaw exertion signals to the brain that the work is done and survival is secured.
Oh, I see.
When a dog mimics that action by gnawing on a heavy leather shoe, their brain releases a massive flood of dopamine and endorphins.
It's a self-medicating behavior.
Exactly. It induces rest and calmness. They aren't being malicious. They're desperately trying to find a way to medically regulate their own anxious nervous system using the only tools they have available in a barren environment.
Okay, wow. Now that we know we're essentially terrifying our bored, mentally starved pets by yelling at them over something they don't even understand, how do we fix this?
There's a practical way.
What is the practical step the very next time I walk into a room and find my couch cushions exploded?
The behavioral framework for this is called the 10-second rule. And the first step is honestly the hardest for humans to master.
What is it?
When you see the mess, stay completely silent. Do not gasp, do not sigh, do not look at the dog, and do not say their name.
Because you have to stop that biological broadcast. If I look at them and react, the cortisol spikes and the furry polygraph machine picks it up immediately.
Precisely. You need to take a deep breath to purposefully bring your own heart rate down. Physiologically, taking a deep, slow breath stimulates your vagus nerve.
Which does what?
It acts as a brake on your nervous system, halting the release of cortisol. You have to consciously shift your own body chemistry. Once your heart rate slows and your cortisol levels off, your dog will instantly smell that you are no longer a threat.
That's incredible.
Their nervous system will begin to settle. Once you are calm, you clean up the mess without any drama, no pointing, no lecture.
Just pick up the pieces and move on. But then how do you bridge the gap? How do you let them know the secure base is back online?
Use a soft, high-pitched tone of voice, which is often called infant-directed speech or baby talk.
I've always wondered why we instinctively do that with dogs. Does it actually do something biologically, or is it just a weird human quirk?
It does something profound biologically. Studies show that the specific acoustic frequencies in infant-directed speech directly stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system in dogs.
Wow.
Yeah, it physically lowers their heart rate and promotes the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It is a clear biological auditory signal that means you are safe with me.
So you regulate yourself, which regulates them. But we still have to deal with the root cause. You still have a dog that was mentally starved enough to eat a shoe.
That is the final step. After the immediate moment is diffused, you address the mental starvation without ever breaking trust. You ask yourself, does my dog need a long sniff walk?
A sniff walk.
Yeah, where they aren't forced to march at a human pace, but are allowed to just follow their nose and process the world.
Because using their olfactory system tires them out more than just physical running.
Far more. Processing complex scents requires immense cognitive energy. Or perhaps they need a puzzle toy that forces them to work for their food, mimicking that sequence of seeking and finding. You solve the behavioral issue by meeting their biological needs.
This is a massive life hack, not just for dog training, but for emotional regulation in general. It forces you to pause, assess your own internal state, and respond with empathy rather than just reacting with anger.
This raises an important question, though. How can we actively shift our mindset from being a boss, demanding obedience, to being a parent providing a secure base? Because they don't view us as management. They view us as their colony.
Right. We are all they have.
And that shift in mindset is the key to everything.
We really have transformed the entire concept of the guilty look today. We took it from a flawed human projection of moral shame and revealed it to be this brilliant ancestral survival tool designed to de-escalate a threat.
Absolutely.
When your dog looks at you with those big sad eyes and that tucked tail, they aren't saying, "I'm sorry, I was bad." They are saying, "I am so incredibly scared right now. Please go back to being my safe place."
And if we could recognize that, we can completely change the dynamic of our households. But, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it leaves us with a rather profound implication to consider.
What's the final takeaway?
If our dogs are so exquisitely attuned to our micro-expressions, our breathing changes, and our sudden cortisol spikes in moments of acute anger over a chewed shoe, how much are they absorbing from our ambient, everyday human stress?
You mean just the general background noise of our lives?
Think about it. When you're sitting on the couch, totally silent, but agonizing over a stressful work email or silently panicking about the news, your dog's sensory systems are still running.
They are still smelling your cortisol.
Exactly. Could some of our dogs' chronic behavioral issues, the pacing, the whining, the sudden destruction, actually be a direct mirror of our own unmanaged modern anxieties? Are they carrying the weight of the stress we don't even realize we are projecting?
Because usually when something is broken in our house, it's easy to diagnose. But when that metaphorical X-ray machine points at our pets, it turns out we shouldn't be looking at their bones at all. We should be looking at the reflection in the glass.
It's a powerful way to put it.
Thank you.